This video is on rural development, the sixth chapter of 11th Indian Economic Development. Let's begin with the quote of Mahatma Gandhi. Real progress of India do not mean simply the growth and expansion of industrial urban centers, but mainly the development of villages. This statement highlights the importance of rural development. What is meant by a rural area? As per RBI, an area comprising population less than 49,000 is called rural area. Apart from this much of population, you can also find people with farm lands, their main occupation being farming activities and other allied activities such as cattle rearing, sericulture, poultry, etc. They are mainly occupied in the primary sector. Other than these, we can also find small scale industries such as rice mill, agarbatti making, chips making, honey processing, as well as few cottage industries such as cotton and silk weaving, handicrafts, etc. One can find refreshing nature free from vehicular and industry induced pollution in the rural areas. But all is not well over here. In this video, we will try to know the challenges faced by the people of rural areas and what were the measures that had been already taken. Rural areas face these challenges which has to be rectified. First one being related to development of human resources. Literacy rate among the people of rural areas has to be worked on. Everyone must be able to read and write. Provisions of educational facilities is crucial. Apart from it, focus must be on making sure that the people in rural areas are skilled enough to fetch a livelihood for themselves. And health factor must also be taken care of by providing adequate health care facility centers. Next is whether the land reforms has helped the people who were landless or not. Have the BPL families benefited from the poverty alleviation programs or not? Do all the individuals have access to employment opportunities irrespective of whichever caste or gender they belong to or not? Lastly, infrastructure development. Most of the rural area people indulge in agricultural and allied activities. We can also find small scale industries and cottage industries. In order to carry on their work smoothly, they need various facilities such as electricity, irrigation, credit, marketing, transport, agricultural research and extension, and information dissemination. The rural area in which all these is not found cannot be considered as developed. The rural area in which you cannot find these development or positive growth in terms of these aspects is underdeveloped, and one needs to take up measures which will help the rural area to develop. So, what is rural development? Development of areas that are lagging behind in the overall development of the village economy is called rural development. So, as we know, in order to develop, we need financial assistance. We need investment in the form of capital. How to raise that one? So, what is the way in which credit is available in rural areas? Long back in India, it was money lenders and rich traders who used to lend money to the farmers. In their hands, the poor farmers used to suffer. The money they lent were of high interest rate, and proper accounts were not maintained. There were some dishonest lenders who abused the illiterate farmers. This led to poor farmers being stuck in debt trap. They often end up borrowing because there is a time gap between sowing and generation of income after harvesting. They have to invest in procuring seeds, fertilizers, and other implements to enable farming activity to run smoothly. They also need money for their personal expenditure. As a solution to the financial issues of farmers and other workers in small scale and cottage industries, in 1969, India adopted social banking and multi-agency approach to adequately meet the needs of rural credit. Indian government aimed at bringing rural population to hold bank accounts and make use of the credit system through banks for their financial issues. NABARD, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, was set up in 1982 as an apex body to coordinate the activities of all institutions involved in the rural financing system. Multi agency institutions such as commercial banks, regional rural banks, cooperatives, and land development banks were set up to take care of credit issues in rural areas. They work with the common goal, that is to enable rural areas to be developed and self sufficient. Self help groups were also encouraged to be formed to overcome the gap that is not filled by the multi agency institutions. By May 2019, nearly 6 crore women in India have become members in 54 lakh women self help groups. These groups save amounts. Every member contributes on monthly basis. The collected amount is lent to the one who needs it. It has to be paid back in small installments. Government help these self-help groups through banks under microcredit programs. Partial assistance of 10,000 to 15,000 is provided to the self-help groups. Along with this, 2.5 lakh community investment support fund is also provided to them.